Morning, guys. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm. Is my screen is visible? My voice is audible. Please confirm in chat box. We'll start the session. Good. Thanks for confirmation, guys. Yes, today is the second session. Yesterday we had one session, guys. In first session, what we discussed? As session 1, just we discussed about course content. Course content we discussed in first session, guys. Today is the second session. What we are going to discuss in today's session? Today we are going to understand what is DevOps. What is DevOps? Why DevOps is required? What is DevOps and why DevOps we are going to understand in today's session. Yes, today is the second session. Yesterday we had one session. In yesterday's session, just we discussed about the course content. Our plan of action we discussed in yesterday's session. Today we are going to discuss what is DevOps and why DevOps we are going to discuss. So can anyone tell what is DevOps, guys? Anyone have any idea? Please respond, guys. What is DevOps? What is a DevOps? Guys, DevOps is a programming language? No. DevOps is a technology? No. DevOps is a framework? No. DevOps is a tool? No. DevOps is not a programming language. DevOps is not a tool. DevOps is not a framework. Right? What is DevOps then? What is DevOps? It is not a programming language. It is not a framework. It is not a tool. Then what is this? What is this, guys? DevOps is a culture. It is not a programming language, guys. DevOps is not a programming language. It is not a framework. And it is not a tool. It is not a tool. Then what is DevOps? Then what is DevOps? DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a culture, guys. It is just a culture and set of practices. DevOps is a culture. It is a set of practices. It is a set of practices. Right? So DevOps is a culture and set of practices. Right? By using this DevOps culture, what we can do, guys? By using set of practices, what we can do? By using this DevOps culture, by using this DevOps culture, we can deliver the project. We can deliver the project as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible to the client. By using DevOps culture, we can deliver the project as quickly as possible to the client. Understand, guys? Observe carefully, guys. It is not a programming language. It is not a framework and it is not a tool. Then what is this? Just it is a culture or it is a set of practices. By using this culture, what we are doing? We are delivering the project to client as quickly as possible. We are delivering the project to client as quickly as possible. Right. By using this DevOps culture, by using DevOps, and by using DevOps, we are automating the project delivery process. Earlier it is a manual process, guys. If you want to deliver the project completely, it is a manual process earlier. Now whenever this DevOps came into the picture, by using DevOps, what we are doing, we are automating the project delivery process. Now it is not a manual process, we are automating the project delivery process, guys. Right here, with this DevOps culture, development team and operations team both will work collaboratively. With this DevOps culture, development team and operations team both will work collaboratively. And what is the responsibility of the development team, guys? What is the responsibility of the development team? See, guys, if you go to any project, we can see below two teams, guys. What teams we can see? One is development team, second one is operations team. Guys. If you go to any project, we can see these two teams, guys, development team and operations team. What is the responsibility of the development team? Development team will develop the project, will develop the project by using will develop the project according to client requirement by using some programming languages. Right. We have Java, Python, .NET, PHP, several programming languages are available. By using any one of the programming language, development team will develop the project according to client requirement. What is the role of development team, guys? They will develop the project by using some programming languages, and they upload the code into the whatever they developed. They upload the code into repository. Right. After development is completed, they need to upload the code into repository, guys. This is the developer activity. What is the role of the developer? Just they need to develop the project according to the client requirement by using some programming languages. What kind of programming languages we have? Java is there, Python is there, .NET is there, PHP is there. Like that, several programming languages are available in market. By using any one programming language, development team will develop the project. Right. So what is the responsibility of the operations team, guys? Operations team responsibility is responsible to create the infrastructure, and deliver the project. Deliver the project to client. What is the responsibility of the operations team, guys? They need to create the infrastructure and they need to deliver the project to client, guys. Developer won't involve in the project delivery process, guys. Just they will develop the code and they will upload into the remote repository. Just guys, please give me some time. I will take your questions. Development team will develop the project according to the client requirement by using some programming languages and they will upload the code into the repository. What is the responsibility of the operations team? The operations team responsibility is to create the infrastructure and deliver the project to client. Guys, please go through the steps once again. What is DevOps, guys? It is not a programming language and it is not a framework and it is not a tool. Then what is this? It is a culture. Just it is a culture or it is a set of practices. By using DevOps culture, we can deliver the project to client as quickly as possible. Right? By using this DevOps, we are automating the project delivery process. Earlier, it is the manual process, guys. Earlier, multiple teams will involve to deliver the project. Earlier, multiple teams will involve guys to deliver the project to client. But whenever DevOps came into the picture, we automated that project delivery process. We no need to do anything manually. Right? With this DevOps culture, development team and operations team both will work collaboratively. DevOps culture, whenever DevOps culture came, development team and operations team both are working collaboratively. If you go to any project, you can see these two teams, guys, development team and operations team. What development team will do? The responsibility of the development team is creating the project, developing the project by using some programming language based on the client requirement. Client will give some requirement. Based on that requirement, developers should develop the code by using some programming languages. What programming languages developers will use? Either Java or Python or .NET, whatever it is. Based on the client requirement, they will use some programming languages and develop the code, guys. Once the development is completed, what they need to do? They need to upload the code into the repository, remote repository. Right, guys. What is the responsibility of the operations team? Operations team is responsible to create the infrastructure and deliver the project to client, guys. Guys, please go through the steps. If anyone have any questions up to here, please ask. Please go through the steps once. No, guys. Development is the separate team. Operations is separate team, guys. As a operations team member, you no need to understand the code what developers are writing. Both are separate teams, guys. Both are separate teams. As a DevOps engineer, you are not required to look into a code. Fine guys, observe carefully. Now observe carefully. See guys, in the companies, we will have the development team guys. In the companies, we will have the development team. Development team means we will have multiple developers guys. Set of developers are available in the development team. The development team, we will have multiple developers. Let's observe this diagram properly. Here you will get complete picture. Why DevOps is required. See guys, in the companies, we will have development team like this. Development team means set of developers guys. Multiple developers will be available in the development team. So this is my development team. What development team will do guys? Development team will write the code guys. Development team will develop the code based on the client requirement by using some programming languages. Right. Once development is completed, what they will do guys? They will upload that code into the repository. Here we have one repository guys. Here we have one repository. This is my remote repository where all developers code will be available. That is called as remote repository. Remote repository is available at here. Right guys. Developers, once development is completed and once they have tested the application in their local system, what they will do, right, they will push the code. Whatever they have written, they will push that code into this remote repository. They will push the code into remote repository. Here as a remote repository, so what we can use guys, we have several things are available, right? We can use that earlier people used to work with SVN guys. Earlier people used to work with SVN, but nowadays no one is using this SVN guys. It is outdated. Nowadays people are using GitHub or Bitbucket. GitHub or Bitbucket people are using nowadays guys. SVN is a old one guys, outdated one. People are used earlier, but nowadays GitHub and Bitbucket only people are using guys. See guys, here in a team multiple developers are available. Developers will develop the project based on the client requirement using some programming languages. Once development is completed, they will push the code into the remote repository, right? So up to here only developers will do guys. Once they uploaded the code into the remote repository, developer's task is completed. Developer's task is completed guys. Developers are not going to deliver the project to client. Developers are not going to deliver the project to client. What they will do, just they will upload the code into the remote repository. Once they uploaded the code into the remote repository, now operations team will come into the picture. Operations team will come into the picture guys. Guys, tell me, inside this repository what we have? We have some code is available. We have some code is available guys. By using that code is written by using Java programming language. Assume guys, by using Java they have written some code and they uploaded the code into the repository. Now tell me, here whatever the code present inside the remote repository, can I give that code directly to the client guys? Can I give that code? Whatever we have inside the repository, can I give that code directly to the client? Client can able to understand that Java code. Whatever we have inside the repository, if I give same code directly to the client, client can able to understand anything? No guys, client doesn't know Java. He don't know about the Java, so he can't able to understand guys. So that's why we can't able to give that code directly to the client. Then how we can able to give? How we need to give, guys? We need to give in executable format. It directly client can able to access that application. So in that format we need to give. We can't able to give the pro code to the client directly. He don't know Java and all, guys. Right. So for this, what we need to do? For this, what we need to do, guys? See here. First, guys, if you want to hand over the project to client, if you want to deliver the project to client, first we need to deploy the application into the servers. We need to deploy the application into the servers, guys. Where you will deploy the application? And we need some infrastructure. If you want to deploy the application in the server, first we should have some infrastructure, guys. Suppose if you want start one restaurant business, first you will set up the infrastructure or not. Without having that infrastructure set up, directly you can start the restaurant business? No, right? You should have one proper building. So in that building, you should set up one kitchen, right? You should set up one dining hall. Some tables are required, chairs are required, plates are required, right? And that reception counter is required. Everything should be required. Everything compulsory required. Then only you can able to start the restaurant business. Here also, if you want to deploy the project into the servers, what we required? First we required the infrastructure. Guys. If you want to deploy the project to the servers in the servers, first we should have some infrastructure, guys. Here, where we are going to create that infrastructure, where we are going to set up that infrastructure, we are going to set up that infrastructure in AWS cloud. This is my AWS cloud, guys. Inside this AWS cloud, we are going to set up the infrastructure. So this is AWS cloud. In this AWS cloud only, I'm going to set up the infrastructure. What you will do in the AWS cloud, guys? What you will do in the AWS cloud? In the AWS cloud, I'm going to take virtual machines. I'm going to take Linux virtual machine kind of thing. Here I will take virtual machine. I'm going to take it here. This is my virtual machine. This is my virtual machine, guys. Linux virtual machine, I'm taking it here. Right, inside the Linux virtual machine, what we are doing? We are going to install one web server. One web server we are going to install inside the virtual machine. This is my web server. Web server. Inside the web server, we are going to deploy the application. Here we need to deploy the application. Once you deploy the application successfully in the server, now everybody can able to access that application. First, you should have this infrastructure, guys. If you want to deploy the application in the server, you should have the infrastructure, right? You need one AWS account. Inside the AWS account, you need to create one Linux virtual machine. Inside the Linux virtual machine, you need to install one server, guys. Then only you can able to deploy the application into the server. Guys, observe carefully. Developers are available. Developers will develop the code based on the client requirement using some programming language, and they will push the code into the remote repository. Up to here, developer activity is completed. Now operations team will come into the picture. Operations team, what they will do? First, they need to set up the infrastructure for deploying the project. First, they need to set up the infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure setup is completed. 1 minute, guys. Let me add the points here. See, operations. What operations team should do? What operations team need to do, guys? See, right, first activity, guys, set up infrastructure. Set up infrastructure, guys. Infrastructure setup means what they need to take care, guys. What they need to take care, infrastructure setup means that machines setup. Machines, some computers are required. Machines setup is required. Next here, Next here, software installations are required. Software installations are required. Next here, right, software installations, server setup is required. Server setup is required. Next here, database setup is required. Database setup is required. Next here, network is required. Network setup. Next here, power backup is required. Next here, security is required. Next here, storage is required. All these things are required, guys. All these things are required. And infrastructure setup means all these things you need to take care. See, guys, first we need machines, guys. Some computers are required, guys. Next here, right, we required in the computer, in those computers, we need to install the softwares, guys. Once the software installations are completed, we need to install the server, guys. And here we need to, right, install the database, guys. And if you want to access those applications, right, here some network also must be required, guys. That application should be running, guys, 24/7. That application should run. So here power backup also required, guys. Security is required, guys. Security is required. Some storage is required. Whenever application is running, some data will be generated. To store that data, storage must be required. Infrastructure setup means all these things are required. All these things are required. Okay, first step is completed. My infrastructure is ready. What is the next step? What is the next step, guys? Now here, developers are uploaded the code into the remote repository. As a second step, as a second operations team activity, we need to download the code from the repository. We need to take the code from the GitHub repository. What is the second step, guys? Take the code from the remote repository. We need to take the code from the repository, guys. First step, guys, infrastructure setup. Infrastructure setup is completed. Next, we need to take the code from the repository. Once you took the code from the repository, what we need to do, guys? We need to compile the code and package the code, guys. Here we need to compile the code and package the code, guys. We need to compile and package the code. Right, once compilation and packaging is completed, fourth activity, we need to do the code review. Code review, guys. How developers are written the code, right? Whether they followed the coding standards or not. They have written all the JUnit test cases or not. Everything we need to verify in the code review. Right? We need to verify, guys. We are not going to fix the issues. We are not going to check the code, guys. Manually, we won't check any code. Here we will use some software to review the code, guys. That the software will generate the report. See, guys, fourth activity, code review. How developers are written the code, whether they are following the coding standards or not, whether they have written the JUnit test cases or not. Everything it has to check. And once code review is completed, finally deploy the project into the server. Deploy the project into the server. Deploy the project into the server. Right? See, guys. So these are the operations team activities. These are the operations team activities, guys. Here, what activities are there? Have a look into this, guys. Have a look into this, guys. Developers, what they will do? Developers will write the code and they will push the code into the remote repository. That's it. Developers activity is completed. Next, guys, observe carefully. Now I am going to explain all these steps. Observe carefully, guys. Right. So developers have written the code and they have uploaded the code into the GitHub repository. Their activity is completed. Right now, we need to deliver the project to client. We need to deploy the project into the server. If you want to deploy the project into the server, first you should have some infrastructure where we need to deploy the project. That infrastructure is required. We need to deploy the project in AWS cloud. That's why inside the AWS cloud, I am creating the infrastructure. Once this infrastructure is ready, right here, observe carefully guys, set up infrastructure. If you want to perform this activity, if you want to set up the infrastructure, what tools we are going to use guys? What tools we are going to use? Two ways we can set up the infrastructure guys. Infrastructure we can set up in two ways. What two ways are there guys? AWS is providing GUI facility. AWS is providing GUI facility through GUI, graphical user interface. Through GUI, we can able to create the infrastructure. Guys, infrastructure we can set up in two ways. One is by using GUI. Who will provide this GUI? AWS will provide that GUI. By using that GUI, we can able to set up the infrastructure. Second way is right by using some code. By using some code also we can set up the infrastructure. Right. So if you want to set up the infrastructure by using code, what tool we need to use guys? In DevOps, what tool we have to set up the infrastructure by using code? Terraform. Terraform is available. By using this Terraform also we can set up the infrastructure. Guys, here observe carefully. For set up the infrastructure, for creating the infrastructure, we have multiple options. What options are there? One is GUI option. Second one is by using code. And what GUI is available? If you go to AWS console, management console, their GUI is available. Through GUI, you can able to set up the infrastructure. Otherwise, by using some code, we can able to create the infrastructure. If you want to create the infrastructure by using code, then we need to go for Terraform. Right, nowadays companies are expecting this Terraform guys. Companies are asking, right, you should create the infrastructure by using code. Nowadays companies are expecting creating the infrastructure by using code guys. Okay, and once missions are ready, infrastructure is nothing but creating the missions guys. That's it. Infrastructures are nothing but creating the missions. Missions are ready. Now, in those missions, we need to install the software. Guys, just you have purchased a new laptop, guys. You have purchased a new laptop. Right. So, you will get all the softwares also in that, guys. You will get all the softwares in that laptop. No, right? We need to install. Once you purchase the laptop, we need to install our required softwares, guys. Required softwares we need to install. Here also, infrastructure means creating the missions and all guys. Creating the missions. Here you can create the missions in two ways. Either by using GUI or by using Terraform, we can able to create the missions guys. Once missions are ready, we need to install the softwares. And here if you want to install the softwares manually, we are not required to do guys. If you want to do manually, it will take lot of time. It will take lot of time and right, some lot of efforts are required guys. Instead of doing manually, right, we are going to use one tool, one DevOps tool we are going to use. With that, we can able to install the softwares. We can able to configure the softwares very easily. That's why we need to use one configuration management tool. What configuration management tool we are going to use? Here we are going to use Ansible. Ansible is a configuration management tool. By using this Ansible, we can configure the softwares into the missions, guys. We can configure the softwares into the missions. Guys, first you need to create the missions. For that, we are going to use Terraform or GUI. Terraform or GUI, guys. Second one is we need to configure the softwares. If you want to configure the softwares, we are going to use Ansible. Ansible, we are going to use it here, right? So next, guys, next, softwares means everything will come, servers and all these things we are going to install, guys. Databases, servers, everything we are going to set up. For that, we are going to use Ansible. Right, guys. With this, our infrastructure setup is ready. infrastructure setup is ready, guys. Right, once infrastructure setup is ready, what is the second activity? We need to download the code from the repository. Whatever the code developers are uploaded into the GitHub repository, we need to download that code from the repository. Right, if you want to download the code from the repository, what we require, guys? We require one client software. If you want to download the code from the Git repository, here we are going to use one client software which is called as Git, guys. By using Git, we will download the code from the GitHub repository. By using Git software, we will download the code from the GitHub repository. Okay, here you are downloading the code. That code is high level language, guys. High level language, right? Our computer can't able to understand that high level language. System can't able to understand high level language. System can able to understand only zeros and ones. Binary code only system can able to understand. But in the remote repository, what we have high level language. That high level language computer can't able to understand. Then what we need to do? We need to convert from high level language to system understandable format, mission understandable format. We need to convert. That's why what we are doing, after downloading the project from the GitHub repository, we are going to compile that project. Compiling means what? Converting from high level language to low level language is called as compilation. Compilation is nothing but what, guys? Converting from high level language to low level language is called as compilation. We are compiling the project, guys. Compiling means, right, system understandable format ready. Right, once a compilation is done, we need to package that code, guys. We need to package that code as a var file or jar file. Right, we need to package, guys. We need to packaging in the sense, project in the sense, it contains so many files, guys. Project in the sense, it contains several files. Several files are available. Right, we need to combine as one package, guys. We need to bundle those files as a single package. Project in the sense that several thousands of files are available. Right, we need to package. We need to pack all 1,000 files as a single var or jar, guys. Right, we need to compile and package the code. If you want to do this activity, if you want to perform this third activity, right, we are going to use one tool which is called as Maven. Maven we are going to use for this activity. Maven we are going to use for this activity, guys. First, infrastructure setup is ready. For that infrastructure setup, we are going to use Terraform and Ansible. By using Terraform, we will create the missions. By using Ansible, we will install the softwares in those missions. Right. Second activity, we need to take the code from the repository. Right. But for that, we are going to use Git software. Next, third activity, whatever the code we have downloaded from the remote repository, we need to compile that code and we need to package that code as a var file or jar file. For that, we are going to use Maven, guys. Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool. That build tool we are using for third activity. Once packaging is completed, we need to do the code review, guys. We need to code review. We need to do the code review, guys. Means what? How developers are written the code, whether they followed the coding standards or not. Right? Test cases they have written or not. All test cases are passed or not. Everything we need to verify. Right? Are you going to verify manually? No. We are going to use one software to do the code review. That software will take care everything. If there is any problem, that software will generate one report, guys. Right, okay, that software generated the report. There were some issues. Right, as a DevOps engineer, you need to work on those issues, guys. Guys, respond, guys. Here, to do the code review, we are going to use one software. That software will verify everything and it will generate some one report. Assume there was some issues. Assume there was some issues, guys. Who will work on those issues, guys? Respond, guys. Who will work on those issues? DevOps engineers will work. Developer will work. Very good, guys. Here, whatever the report is generated, that report we need to give it to the developers. That report we need to give it to the developer. Developer will work on those issues. See here, for code review purpose, which tool we are going to use, guys? For code review purpose, which server, which software we are going to use? Sonar. Sonar Cube. Sonar Cube we are going to use for the code review activity. Once code review also completed, everything is fine. Then we need to deploy the project into the server. We need to deploy the project into the server. For deployment purpose, which software we are using, which tool we are using, guys? Jenkins we are going to use, guys. Jenkins will deploy the project into the server, guys. See, guys. So this is the operations team activities, guys. All these things need to take care by operations team only. What is the first activity of the operations team? They need to set up the infrastructure. If they want to create the missions, we have multiple options. Through GUI we can able to create. By using Terraform also we can able to create. Once the missions are ready, what is the second activity? They need to install the softwares. If they want to install the softwares, we have Ansible. Through Ansible we can do that. Next, whatever the developers are written, that code we need to download from the GitHub repository. For that, we are going to use Git client software. Once code is downloaded, we can't able to give that code directly to the client. We need to compile the code and we need to package that code. For compilation and packaging purpose, we are going to use Maven. Maven is a build tool. Right, once packaging is done, we need to do the code review. For that, we are going to use Sonar Cube. And once code review is completed, we need to deploy the project into the server. For that, we are going to use Jenkins. Jenkins will deploy your project into the server, guys. Here, it will deploy the project into the server. Alright, guys. Now tell me, in order to run, see guys, here we are executing the application in single server, guys. We are running our application only one server. But in real time, we will deploy our application in multiple servers, not in single server. Gmail application is running in multiple servers. Facebook application is running in multiple servers. Amazon application is running in multiple servers. Flipkart application is running multiple servers, guys. If you take any real-time application, either ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, SBI Bank, any real-time project, real-time projects will run in multiple servers simultaneously. Why we need to run multiple servers, guys? Why we need to run multiple servers? See, if you run the application in single server, sometimes load will be increased on the single server. Heavy load, guys, sometimes heavy load will come. Traffic will be increased. And if load is increased, right, server will take more time to provide the response back, guys. If load is increased, server will take more time to provide the response. Sometimes the server may get crash also due to heavy load. Sometimes server may get crash also due to heavy load. Right? That's why, right, always we need to deploy our application in multiple servers. If you deploy the application in multiple servers, load will be distributed to all the servers, guys. See, guys, observe carefully. Right, this is server 1, server 2, server 3. Like this, we have multiple servers. Right here, I have deployed my Facebook application in all the servers. I have deployed Facebook application in all the servers, guys. I have deployed Facebook application in multiple servers. Right, guys. Here request will come from multiple people, guys. Request will come from multiple people. See, guys, here we are going to take one more application. This is called load balancer. This is the load balancer I am taking here. And all these servers, whatever the servers we have created, all these servers are connected with this load balancer. All the servers are connected with this load balancer. Here people are available, multiple people are available. Right. So these people will send the request to Facebook application load balancer. Right, public will send the request to Facebook application load balancer. See guys, Facebook application we deployed in multiple servers guys. Suppose if you deploy the application in single server, right, at a time 1 lakh requester came to that server guys. So server can't able to provide the response quickly. Server will take more time to provide the response. Sometimes server may get crash also because of heavy load. So that's why what we will do, we need to deploy our application in multiple servers guys, not in single server. And all these servers we need to connect with one load balancer. Load balancer guys, we will discuss. We will create load balancer practically and I will show everything guys. See here, public will send the request to this load balancer. Load balancer will distribute the load to servers guys. Load balancer will decide. First request came. See guys, first request came. Right, to which server application is running in multiple servers, right? To which server this first request has to send, either this one or this one or this one. Load balancer will decide. Second request came. Second request, right, which server it has to send, this one or this one. Load balancer will decide. Third request, to which server it has to send, this one. Load balancer will decide. All the requests will come to load balancer. Load balancer will distribute the load equally to the server. So load balancer will distribute the load equally to the servers. In this case, what it will happen, burden will be reduced on the single server guys. Burden will be reduced on the single server. Load we are distributing to multiple servers, so they can able to provide the response quickly. They can able to provide the response quickly guys. Simple example guys. One person is there. That one person need to travel from this place to this place by walk guys. This is the source and this is the destination. By walk that person need to go. Suppose if I give 20 kgs weight to that person. 20 kgs weight I have given to that person guys. Is that person can able to carry or not? Okay, he can able to carry with that 20 kgs. He can able to go with the 20 kgs weight, no problem. Okay, I have increased the weight, 50 kgs I have given. 50 kgs I have given. Right, so he can able to go. Okay, little bit he can able to manage guys. But 20 kgs, how much speed he reached to the destination with the 20 kgs weight? He can't able to reach same speed with the 50 kgs weight guys. Okay, now 100 kgs weight I am giving. 100 kgs weight I have kept in that person head. And he can able to reach quickly. He will take more time guys. He will take more time to reach. Okay, 500 kgs weight I have given guys. 500 kgs I have kept on his head. He can able to carry guys 500 kg weight. He will take lot of time. Otherwise he will die also. He will die also. Maybe that person will die to carry that 500 kgs weight also. Here also same scenario guys. If one request came, no problem, my server will provide the response quickly. If 10 requests are coming, no problem, my server can able to provide the response quickly. If 100 requests are coming, my server can able to provide the response quickly. But if 1 lakh requests are coming, 10 lakhs requests are coming, my server will take more time to provide the response. Sometimes due to heavy load, my server may get crash also. That's why giving all the load to single server is not recommended. We need to deploy our application in multiple servers and we need to distribute the load to all the servers. That is the concept we are following it here guys. Understood? Is it clear guys what we are going to do? We are in a real time. If you take any project, any real time project, those projects should be deployed in multiple servers, not in single server guys. How the load will be distributed to multiple servers? Load balancer will take care of that. Load balancer will take care of that. We no need to worry about that guys. Right. See here, if you want to manage the application in single server, Okay, no problem. Jenkins will deploy the application in the single server. But I want to manage the application in multiple servers. In order to run the project easily in multiple machines, we are going to use Docker and Kubernetes. Right here, where Docker and Kubernetes will come into the picture in order to maintain our application in multiple servers, guys. See here, in order to maintain the application in multiple servers, in order to maintain the application in multiple servers, we are going to use Docker and Kubernetes. Docker and Kubernetes we are going to understand to manage the application in multiple servers, guys. Understood, guys? Why we are going to use Docker and Kubernetes? To manage the application in multiple servers, Docker and Kubernetes is required. See, guys? Okay, in yesterday's session, whatever the DevOps tools I mentioned, everything came here or not? Everything came here or not, guys? Git is there, GitHub is there, Maven is there, Sonar is there, Jenkins is there, Terraform is there, Ansible is there, Docker is there, Kubernetes is there. Right here, web server. Web server means what we are taking here? Web server. Which web server we are taking here? Here we are going to take Tomcat as a web server. Tomcat as a web server we are taking. So that Tomcat also I am going to explain. Tomcat is there, right? Nexus, guys. Here, whatever the package you have created, we need to store those packages in one repository. Here, whatever the packages you are creating to deploy into the servers, those packages we need to maintain in one location that is called as Nexus repository. Nexus, guys. Right, to store the packages. No, Docker and Kubernetes are not load balancers, guys. Docker is a containerization tool. Guys. Right? Kubernetes is orchestration tool. Whatever the containers we are creating by using Docker, those containers we need to manage, guys. To manage those containers, one orchestration tool is required. That orchestration tool we are going to use Kubernetes, guys. Docker and Kubernetes is not load balancer, guys. See, here in one server I have deployed the application. To run this application in the server, we need so many softwares, guys. Simple. What we are going to do? If you want to run the application in single server, we required, see guys, what I required? Java is required. I have developed by using Java. Java is required. And some database, MySQL database I have used. Database is required. Tomcat server I have used. Tomcat server is required. Right. And here, right, Spring Boot is required. Spring Boot is required, etc. Like this, etc. Several softwares are required to run this application, guys. See now here, developer will tell, array in my system, I have tested the application, it is working fine. Why? Because in developer machine, all the softwares are available. Same code you have given to the, right, same code you have given to you. Right, same code I have given to you, guys. But you are saying, no, that application is not working in my machine, you are saying. That application is not working, you are saying, guys. Same code I have executed in my system, it is working fine. Why it is not working in your system? Same code I shared, right? Guys, observe very carefully how Docker will helpful. See, guys, I have developed one code in my system, right? It is working fine. In my system, all the required softwares are available. It is working fine. Right? Once development is completed, I have given the code to you. Right? You are going to run that application in your system, but you are saying that application is not working in your system. right? If you want to run that application, if that application should work in your system, you should also have all the softwares. Whatever I have in my system, all the softwares you also should have in your system. Then only it will work, guys. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it won't work, guys. See here, I have several softwares, guys. I have multiple softwares. Now, I want to deploy that application in multiple servers, not in single. I want to run that application in 10 servers. If you want to run that application in 10 servers, here whatever the softwares are available, all those softwares you need to install manually in all the 10 servers. All the 10 servers you need to deploy that, install those servers, guys. The same versions. In developer machine, whatever the version you used, with the same versions, all the softwares we should have in all the 10 servers also. Then only that application will work. By mistake, if anything you missed, or anything version got changed, then application won't work, guys. Versions should be same and all the softwares also should be same, guys. Then only that application will work, guys. If you want to take care all these things manually, it is very difficult. Somewhere definitely you will do some mistakes, so it won't work, guys. That's why what we are going to do, guys, whatever the softwares you want, we are going to take all those softwares and all the application code. Our project related thing, whatever we have, whether it is a software or whether it is a application code, anything, we are going to take in a separate file. We are going to create in taking in a file, guys. That file we will call it as Docker file. From that Docker file, we are going to create one image that is called as Docker image. From that image, we are going to start a container that is called Docker container. Inside the Docker container, you will get everything. Take that container, wherever you want to run that application, start that container in that system. Let's see, guys, I want to run that application in 10 servers. Already you have the Docker container. In that Docker container, required softwares are available, required application is available. Take that container or run this system. Run in this system, it will work. And run in this system, it will work. Run in this system, it will work. You no need to install manually all the required softwares. You no need to take the code manually. Everything, guys, a developer is giving. They are giving everything as a container. Inside the container, everything we have, guys. You no need to do any manual activity. Take the container, Docker container, and run wherever you want that application. It will work. Understood, guys? Suppose if you want to do that activity manually, you may miss something. Guys. Maybe versions mismatch or software mismatch, something will happen, so that application won't work in your system. Right? So developer machine is working, but in your machine it is not working, means there was some mismatch. Right? To avoid that kind of problems, Docker is providing one facility, Docker containers. Just take that and run in your machine, it will work. Understood, guys? Understood? That we will discuss. Docker is very big concept, guys. Docker and Kubernetes. In our entire course, Docker and Kubernetes are very, very big concepts, guys. There we will discuss in detail, guys. Okay, as of now, just to remember, Docker is a containerization tool. Kubernetes is an orchestration tool. To manage the Docker containers, we need orchestration tools. That's why here we are going to use Kubernetes, guys. Okay. See, guys, here developers and this operations team both should work collaboratively. Earlier, guys, this entire process, whatever I mentioned here, this entire process is the manual process, guys. Earlier, this entire process is manual process. We need to recruit some system admins. Right? That system admins need to create the missions, right? And they need to install the softwares. It will take a lot of time. And only for infrastructure setup only they will take a lot of time, right? If they want to do manually. After that, right here, separate team is available to download the code from the GitHub and to build and package the code as a var jar, guys. Next, guys, for deploying the code into the servers, a separate team is available. For every activity, separate teams we need to maintain, right? And everyone needs to do manually everything, guys. If they want to do manually everything, how much time it will take, guys? How much time it will take? it will take lot of time. It will take lot of time, and the project delivery also will get a delay. To avoid that problem, DevOps came into the picture. With that DevOps culture, whatever we are doing, same operations. DevOps culture also doing same operations. But earlier, this is the manual process. But now, with the DevOps culture, we are automating this process. We no need to do manually everything, guys. We are automating this entire process, guys. Right? So initially, at only one time, you will set up the infrastructure and you will do all these things, guys. Infrastructure setup you will do, guys. Whenever developers are upload the code into the repository, immediately that all these things will happen automatically. We no need to do anything. Setup is done already. Setup is done, guys. See how it will work. Observe carefully, guys, how it will work. See, guys, here same development team is available. See, guys, observe carefully. Guys, very, very important. Observe carefully this part. See, guys, this is the team, guys. This is the team. Right now, here, what we are here, we have the infrastructure. Same way here, we have the infrastructure also. Okay, here we have the infrastructure, guys. Now, what I am going to do here, the main tool which we are going to use as Jenkins, guys. Jenkins is available here. Jenkins is available here, guys. Right, observe very, very carefully, guys. See, Jenkins is available. Right here, we are going to integrate GitHub with the Jenkins, guys. We are going to integrate GitHub with the Jenkins. Here, some integration is there between GitHub and Jenkins, guys. Whenever developers are uploaded the code into the remote repository, immediately Jenkins, guys, inside the Jenkins only, we have installed the Git software also. We have installed Git also inside the Jenkins only. Whenever developers are uploaded the code in, why? Because developer per day, developers will upload the code. Developers will commit the code 100 times, guys. Per day, easily 100 times developers will upload the code into the repository. Right? If they upload the code 100 times in a day, right, you need to do all these activities 100 times per day, guys. You need to do all these things 100 times per day. If you want to do 100 times per day manually, is it possible? Just tell me. Right, developers, if they put comma or if they put full stop for anything, they will push the code into the repository. Whenever developer make the changes in the repository, every time you need to do all these activities. Is it possible, guys? Tell me. If you want to perform all these activities 100 times per day, is it possible? It's very difficult. Manually, it is not impossible. Manually, it is not impossible, guys. But earlier, people do like that only. That's why it will take more time, guys. Right now, we are automating this entire process, guys. Right, how we are automating? See, guys, here, Jenkins, we are integrating with the GitHub repository. Whenever developers are uploaded the code into the GitHub repository, immediately one notification will come to the Jenkins. Hey, Jenkins, just now one developer committed the code into the repository. Now, what Jenkins will do? By using Git, Jenkins will download the code from the repository. Jenkins will download the code from the repository. And here we are going to integrate Maven. We are going to integrate Maven with the Jenkins, guys. Jenkins, we are going to integrate with the Maven. And at the same time, here we are going to integrate Sonar also with the Maven. Sonar we are taking. It's a Sonar also we are going to integrate with Maven. See, guys, Jenkins we are integrating with the right, Maven we are integrating with the Jenkins, Sonar we are integrating with the Jenkins, and Git also we are taking inside the Jenkins, guys. Here Jenkins is the very main tool, guys. Jenkins only will perform all the activities. See, now observe carefully. Developers are uploaded the code into the repository. Immediately notification will come to the Jenkins. Right, already inside Jenkins we installed Git. So Jenkins will take the help of the Git and it will download the code from the repository. It will download the code from the repository, guys. And Jenkins will talk with this. Once code is downloaded, Jenkins will talk with the Maven. 1 minute. Right, guys. Here what it will do? Jenkins will talk with the Maven. Jenkins will talk with the Maven. Hey Maven, I have some code. You need to build that code. You need to compile and build that code and create as a package. Like that, Jenkins will tell to Maven. Maven will come and build that code and create as a jar or var file. Once it is done, Jenkins will talk with Sonar. Hey Sonar, you have some code. We have some code. You need to do the code review. You need to do the code review. Like that, Jenkins will tell to Sonar. Sonar will do the code review and Sonar will generate the report. And if there is any issues, Sonar, we will give that report to developers. Developers will work on that. There is no issues, Sonar, right? Code review will be completed. Next, Jenkins will deploy that application into the servers. So this is the process we are automating, guys. Like this, we need to automate everything, guys. Right? Whenever developers are uploaded the code, whenever developers are commit the code into the repository, immediately within fraction of seconds only, notification will come to the Jenkins. Right, inside the Jenkins we installed Git server. Right, by using that Git we are going to download the code from the repository, and Jenkins will talk with Maven. Maven will build that code and create a var or jar file. Jenkins will talk with Sonar. Sonar will do the code review. Once code review is completed, Jenkins will deploy the application into the server. Understood, guys? Understood? So like this, we need to automate the process, guys. Earlier, this is manual process. Developers, guys, developer per day, multiple times they will upload the code. Every time we need to go and we need to take and we need to do manually all these activities. Now, with the help of with the help of DevOps, we are going to automate this entire process. We are going to automate this entire process. Understood? Thank you guys. Is this clear, guys? Is this clear? Very good. Now observe carefully, guys. Whatever the tools I mentioned in yesterday's session, everything we covered it here, guys. Terraform we will use for infrastructure setup. Ansible we will use for configuration purpose. Git we will use to download the code from the repository. Maven we are going to use as a builder tool. Sonar we are going to use as a code coverage, code review tool. Jenkins we are going to use for deployment purpose. Docker and Kubernetes we are going to use to maintain the application in multiple servers. Next, Nexus, guys. Nexus is a repository where we will store our packaged jar files or var files, guys. Tomcat is a web server, guys. Okay. Now, let me add these points here, guys. Let me add these points here. See, guys. See, guys, here what we are going to do. Observe carefully, guys. GitHub is available. GitHub, guys. What is this GitHub, guys? With GitHub, what we are going to do? It is a repository where all developers will upload the code, guys. It is a repository where developers will upload the code. It is a repository where developers will upload the code. Next one is Maven, guys. Maven. What is this Maven, guys? Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool, guys. It is a build tool. By using this build tool, what we can do? We can compile. We can compile and package. We can compile and package the code, guys. Okay. Maven is a build tool. Next one is Sonar. Sonar Cube. Next one is Sonar Cube. What is the Sonar Cube? We will use for code review purpose, guys. Sonar Cube we will use for code review purpose. Code review purpose we will use this Sonar Cube, guys. Next one is Jenkins. Next one is Jenkins, guys. This is what deployment tool, guys. Jenkins is a deployment tool. Next, Terraform. Terraform, guys. What is the purpose of Terraform, guys? to automate the infrastructure creation in AWS cloud, guys. To automate the infrastructure. To automate the infrastructure setup in AWS, we will go with this Terraform, guys. Next one is Ansible. Ansible, guys. Right, this is the configuration management tool, guys. Ansible is what? Configuration management tool. With this, what we are doing, we are installing the softwares, configuring. We are configuring the softwares in multiple servers, guys. Right, next, Docker. Docker is what, guys? Docker is what? It is a containerization platform. It is a containerization platform. Right here, Docker containers we will create, guys. Next, Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. These two are the orchestration platforms. Right? See, guys, here by using Docker, we are creating the containers. Right? To manage those containers, we require orchestration tools. Right? As orchestration tools, we are going to discuss Docker Swarm and Kubernetes both, guys. Right? Next, Tomcat. Tomcat. What is this Tomcat? It is a web server where we will deploy the application. Next, Nexus, guys. It is a repository. Where we will store our packages. Created packages. Next, guys, we are going to discuss about Prometheus, right? Prometheus and Grafana. These things also we are going to discuss, right? What is this Prometheus and Grafana? Guys? What is these two things? Prometheus and Grafana. Right? Prometheus and Grafana, these two things are monitoring tools, guys. Prometheus and Grafana, these two things are monitoring tools. Prometheus, Grafana, ELK. So these three are the monitoring tool, guys. Right? Grafana and Prometheus is used to monitor the clusters, guys. In Kubernetes, we will create the clusters, right? And those two clusters, we will monitor those two things, guys. In Kubernetes, we will create the Kubernetes clusters, guys. We need to monitor those Kubernetes clusters. For that purpose, we are going to use Prometheus and Grafana. Right? By using these two, Prometheus and Grafana, right? Grafana, we will monitor the clusters. Clusters means Kubernetes clusters. We will monitor, guys. Next one is what? ELK. Right? ELK is used to monitor how the servers are executing, how the application is running. Right? Log files, guys. Whenever application is running, log files will be generated. We need to monitor those log files. For that, we are going to use ELK. Right? ELK is used to monitor. It is used to monitor servers application, right? Of servers and application, guys. How the application is executing. Right? Log files we are monitoring by log files. We will monitor by ELK. Guys. Right? Prometheus, Grafana, ELK. These three are the monitoring tools. Right? By using Prometheus and Grafana clusters, we are monitoring. In the Kubernetes, we will create the clusters, guys. Those clusters we need to monitor by using Prometheus and Grafana. By using ELK, whenever application is running in the server, it will generate some log files, guys. We need to monitor those log files. Is there any errors? And all the requests are processing properly or not? Right. So those things we need to monitor in the log files. For that purpose, we are going to use ELK, guys. These three are the monitoring tools we are going to use. See, guys, these are the tools which we are going to discuss. GitHub is a repository where developers will upload the code. Maven is a build tool. SonarQube is a code review purpose. Jenkins is the deployment tool. Terraform is the infrastructure setup. Ansible is the configuration management tool. Docker is containerization platform. Docker Swarm and Kubernetes are the orchestration platforms. Tomcat is a web server. Nexus is a repository. Next, Prometheus and Grafana and ELK we will use for monitoring purpose. Is it clear, guys? Is this clear? Now you guys got the basic idea what is DevOps and why we need to use DevOps. With this diagram, you should get the basic idea what is DevOps, why we need to use DevOps, guys. Tell me, guys, if you don't have the DevOps, and all these things are the manual process. With the help of DevOps culture, we are automating this entire process. And because of automating this entire process, we can deliver the project easily and quickly to the client, guys. Understand which tool will involve, where we will use Terraform, where we will use Ansible, where we will use Git, where we will use Maven, where we will use Sonar, where we will use Jenkins. What is the purpose of Docker and Kubernetes? Is it clear, guys? Respond, guys. Fine, guys. Thank you. Now you guys, if anybody have any questions, now you guys can ask your questions. So today what we discussed in today's session, just today we try to understand what is DevOps, why DevOps, guys. What is DevOps, why DevOps? What is DevOps, why DevOps? Is this clear, guys? Fine, guys. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm stopping here. We will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we will discuss, guys. Tomorrow we will try to understand what is the SDLC, what is software development lifecycle, what methodologies are available in SDLC. We will try to understand. Okay. Guys, yesterday I told very clearly two-way communication must be required. Then only you guys can get the subject. Then only I will get the more interest, guys. I can deliver huge content, guys. If I get the proper responses from you, then I will get the interest and I can able to deliver more subject. If you guys are not responding, what it will happen? I will lose my interest. Right? So when you guys are giving the response properly, okay, people are following. So I will get that confidence and I can able to deliver the more content, guys. Right? So if you guys are not responding, right, people are sleeping, people are not following, I will feel like that and I can't able to deliver the subject properly. Okay, only one person only responding, guys. Only one person only responding. Right? Noor Muhammad. Good. You are following, man. I understood. Same way people also should respond. And you guys need to ask the questions, more questions you guys need to ask. With questions, you guys can learn more things, guys. Right? To be friendly, don't feel, right? Don't feel asked to questions, guys. Right. So Noor, we will create the Telegram group. In that once enrollment process is completed, they will add you in the Telegram group. In the Telegram group, they will share, guys. Why? Because recordings and all these things we can't able to share in the WhatsApp and all these things, guys. Why? Because these are the little bit 1 hour, 1.5 hour session means too lengthy. Videos are too lengthy. It won't come in the WhatsApp and all, guys. That's why we need to upload in the Telegram only. We need to send it in Telegram only. Right. So when they will add you into the Telegram means whenever enrollment process is completed, then they will add you into the Telegram. Right. In the Telegram, you will get all these notes and recordings, everything you will get in the Telegram. They will upload, guys, daily basis. They will upload the class notes and recording videos. Right. But you need to log in into that Telegram group. Guys, you guys can ask any questions, whether it is a small question or complex question. Don't think like, it is very simple question. If I ask this question, right, so maybe how they will feel. Don't feel like that, guys. Everyone here to learn the subject. Everyone here to learn the subject. If you guys have any question, please ask. I'm here to explain. Okay. Right, everyone, right, by the end, right, we need to learn the subject properly, guys. Okay. Don't feel to ask the questions. Concentrate on the subject. Anyone have any question, whether it is small or big, I'm ready to explain. Thank you, Noor. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, with real-time scenarios, I will give. With real-time scenarios, I'm going to deliver. Right, your focus is very, very important at here, guys. Your focus is very, very important. Okay. Right, just 3 months, spend 3 months, guys. You guys will get very good jobs with good packages, guys. Just focus 3 months, concentrate 3 months, guys. Very good, very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we will discuss, guys. Tomorrow we will continue further. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, guys.